Mark International Women's Day on March the 8th, the world once again pauses to recognize the contributions of women driving meaningful change in their communities. First observed in 1911, International Women's Day has been commemorated globally for more than 115 years, highlighting the achievements of women across sectors while also calling attention to the work that still needs to be done. Peggie Mars, a founder of the Child Road Safety, a nonprofit organization, will well. Peggie has spent years advocating for safer transport for children in South Africa, working with government, industry and communities to raise awareness about child passenger safety, scholar transport standards and road safety education. She now joins us on the line. Peggie, good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Africa Update.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for having me.
Now, Peggie, what inspired you as a woman and mother to found Will Well and take on child road safety in South Africa?
Well, I lost a child way back in 1994. Our little Jessie drowned. So I know the pain of losing a child. I know the impact that it has on the family and everybody in the family, her siblings, her father, the aunts and uncles. It was felt by everybody, and I know the impact. And when the opportunity came to me in 2012 to do a car seat collection, I realized almost immediately what I took for granted in using a car seat way back was that it was not a wide thing. Not many parents are using car seats, and that we are losing so many of our children due to road deaths. But the most tragic thing was that these road deaths are preventable, that with a car seat and with the correct knowledge on how to use it, we can literally save lives every single day. And that is what continues to drive me, to make sure that parents have the knowledge and the equipment to keep their children safe.
And how have you used your voice to influence scholar transport policy and safety standards in a male-dominated space?
By speaking your truth. Men are not our adversaries in a cause. We have to find common ground. We have to find what we have in common and what vision we are working towards. And then you find your space. If you are vision driven and you know what you want and you know the direction that you need to travel in, it becomes so much easier to find the people that share your vision and go on that journey with you. And also know yourself, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know what you can do very, very well and focus on that and get a team in place to cover for those things that you are not so good at. And then that is how you become formidable.
Now, what is the biggest road safety threats that are facing South African children today, and what still needs to change?
The biggest threat is socioeconomic in its nature. It is the severe poverty of our rural and peri-urban communities. They cannot afford safe transport for their children to school. And remember that 68% of our children across the country walk to school still. That is possibly the most unsafe way to get to school. And so it is that affordability of car seats, of school transport, and of safe options. The more money you have, the more choice you have. And if you don't have the money, you don't have the choices. But our children need to get to school. And that is where us in the NGO communities and as private business and corporates can step in and help to make sure that our children get to school safely and that they travel safely.
And as a woman leading advocacy work in your community, what does International Women's Day mean to you personally?
It means that we are seen. It means that the spotlight falls on us. You know, there's a lot of noise in the news cycles. There's lots of things happening all the time. And what we do as women in the community don't always get the spotlight. But on a day like today, like the National Women's Day, that spotlight is on us. And it is lovely to feel appreciated. You know, we do what we do because we're passionate about what we do and not necessarily for the spotlight. But to get it is a recognition that is absolutely wonderful.
And, your message to women who want to lead change and just don't know where to start or how to start.
Start with what you know, what you feel passionate about, with what you can make a difference with in your community. If you are a good gardener, well, set up a little community garden. If you are good at uplifting women, then go and join a women's group that uplifts women. Find your passion, know what your strengths are. That is always important. Know what you are good at and use that to lead a meaningful life. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be small little things. It can be passing a woman in a mall with a beautiful dress and just tell her that she looks stunning. That already is actually a huge act of community, of just recognizing another person for who they are. As you drive, you see somebody on the side of the road, just smile at them. That way you can make a huge difference in your world. It is the small things that accumulate and becomes a big movement.
Peggy, thank you so much for your time and thank you for the work
You
that you
are
do.
so welcome. Thank you very much and have yourself a lovely day.
And to you too. That's Peggie Mars, founder of the Child Road Safety, a non-profit organization, Wheel Well, joining us on the line.
6 decades of rhythm, resonance, and relevance.